Hey guys, this is Jay again. Last week I did a video on showing you what bait to use to catch a redfish in a couple different ways to rig them. This week I'm going to show you where I like to look for redfish. Now this is just a little creek channel. It's smaller than most of the other creeks. The big creek's behind me. Now the reason I like fishing in these little creeks is because the redfish like to get up in here and stay away from the dolphins. Or the porpoise, whatever you want to call it. So I like to go up into these creeks where it gets real shallow. Now I am in a kayak, which makes it a whole lot easier to get into these creeks. But what I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for 90-degree elbows. I'm going to look for oyster beds and shallow places. The redfish like to be in the shallows on sunny days. They can sun themselves, get warmer. But what I like to do also is I like to get on Google Earth, look for little creeks on Google Earth, and then I come out. Like today I'm just scouting this new creek. I don't even know if there's any fish going to be in here, but I'm going to give it a try. You know, you ain't going to find them if you don't look for them. Now this creek has actually got a split right here in front of me that goes left or right. Now on Google Earth I was looking at, I think I'm going to try going right because I think there's a nice pool up there. We'll see what happens. But anyway, like I said, look for little creeks, look for oyster beds, and I'm going to paddle up in here a little bit further and see what I can find, and stay tuned. We'll see what else. Alright, so first thing I found is some oyster beds. I'll let you check those out. Oyster beds, and it's in a nice turn, so there should be some fish sitting up in there, but I'm going to go on a little further and see what else is up the creek a little further and then work my way back out. Alright, so now the tide is starting to come back in, and there's an oyster bed up there that's got two channels going around it, and they're actually making a pool right behind it, and the redfish have been sitting back in that pool. I caught one out of there already. But that's another thing you want to look for. Always look for oyster beds. Anytime you see oyster beds, there's going to be redfish around them. The bait stays around the oyster beds to feed. The shrimp stay there. So just remember, look for oyster beds and don't be afraid to stay there and fish for a little while. They might not be biting on the outgoing tide. They might only bite on the incoming tide. So let's see how the incoming tide bite is. Stay tuned. I'll have more video for you. Got a fish on way up in that corner up there. I don't know how I'm going to get him back out of there. using that double rig, one there, one down there. Seems to be working pretty good. Not a very big guy, but you know, all on the new Cascade Orca. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's it for this week. I'll be back out next week after Thanksgiving. Hopefully get some more video. Stay tuned. You guys have a great week.